Alright guys, we are back again, and I wanted to give you a little introduction on what we are going to be doing this week, what I'm expecting you to do, and that is going to be to collect some pictures. But what's different now is that I would like you to be taking these pictures rather than finding them online, actually taking them either with a camera, a digital camera that you have at home, or a phone. The phone cameras that exist these days are very, very good, so I expect to get some good things from you. If you are having trouble getting those things from the camera to me, we can talk about that. But if you can't submit them on Classroom, you can always attach them to an email and send them right to me from whatever you're taking the picture with. But there's a couple things I want you to keep in mind when you are taking these pictures. And you're going to have a couple different assignments this week asking for different subject matter. That's what you're taking pictures of. Okay, these are going to be normal things that you'll be able to find in or around your house. So don't worry about that too much. But the few things that we want to keep in mind whenever we're taking a picture, especially for this project that we're leading up to, is number one, we want our subject, whatever we are taking a picture of, to be crisp and in focus. All right, that's number one. The next thing that I want you guys thinking about is the light and the lighting that you're taking the picture in. All right, I want you to make sure that the pictures that you take have nice dark shadows and nice light highlights. All right, and that might mean going into a darker room in your house, shutting the curtains and turning on one light so you get some nice dark shadows along with some bright highlights. Or if you're working with light coming in the window, just moving your subject so that you can see some of those highlights and some of those shadows either on the person's face that you're taking a picture of or of the object that you're taking a picture of. All right, so I just got a few examples here I'm going to run through with you just to get you prepped and ready for what I'm looking for. This one right here, you can see that the background and the main subject of the photograph is not in focus, not visible. There is some motion blur happening here that's making it very hard to see, and this is an example of what we do not want. All right, we want to be able to see our subject nice and clear and crisply. Next, here is an example of kind of a standard portrait picture. And while in this one we do have some dark areas in the hair and behind the head and underneath the chin here, you can see that the main part of these people's faces is washed out. It's very bright, very light. And while that's okay in part of our areas to give us a nice light highlight, this here you can see it's washing out and we're losing a lot of details here in the face. We can't see the edges of the iris, we can't see all of the eyebrows, and it's actually blurring some of it here. A little less so in this one, but you can see we can't make out the eyelashes or anything like that in this picture. So this is another one that I don't want to see from you guys, okay? Next, this one's getting closer. It's a little bit bigger. We have some nice dark shadows here, but we do want it to be a little bit lighter. You can see even the lightest of the sky is still kind of a dark gray color. All right, if this was just a little bit lighter overall, this would be a really great photograph. Okay, we can see that our subject is nice and crisp and clean. We can see all the edges and all the details in it, along with parts of the background too. Another example of just a not great photograph. Everything's blurry. If we were going to draw this, it would be very hard to get any of these details to be accurate. Okay, same thing here. Blurry details, blurry subject. We can't see what's going on. In this one, it looks like the background has more details in it than the actual subject, so we want to avoid that too. But here we start getting into a bad example and a good example. In this one over here, we can see most of the details of the subject, easy, yes, but most of this is kind of the same value. We talked a little bit about contrast, all right? If we made this a black and white picture, it would all be pretty much the same value of gray. Whereas this one over here, you can see the way it was taken, the brightness is more just on the side of the person, and then we have these nice dark shadows in the hair and in the face as well. And you can see that doing this actually makes the details in the face more crisp as well, because we have a greater difference between values so that you can see them a little bit nicer. Okay, let's look at a couple other nice examples. Buddy, I'm recording. In this one, you can see the subject is nice and crisp and clean. You can see that we've got some nice dark shadows underneath and behind our subject, as well as these nice light highlights. Same thing. Crispness, in focusedness of the subject. Nice dark shadows, nice light highlights. That's what we're looking for. Same thing here. Look at the clothes. Look at the shirt here. All right, you can see just about every detail, and that's because, number one, it's in focus, and number two, we have some nice dark shadows and nice light highlights. Another great example right here. The background's out of focus, that's fine. I'm looking for the subject, the main part of the picture, to be in focus. All right, same thing here. Dark areas, nice dark shadows, and nice light highlighted areas as well. Okay. And here's one last one, a landscape. Okay, you can see, same thing. Most of this is a nice crisp focus, especially these rocks. The detail here is really nice and easy to see. And we see nice light areas on the edges of these rocks and behind the lighthouse here, along with some nice dark shadowed areas. So these are the things I'm looking for in every single one of the pictures that you send to me, that you take. The subject matter is going to change, but those requirements are going to stay the same. All right, I'm hoping that you have fun with this. I'm hoping that you work to manipulate your subject so that you get these nice dark shadows and bright highlights. And I can't wait to see the pictures that you take and send in to me. I'll see you soon.